So I'm talking to a friend recently, and she told me her twin brother uh, was fairly recently diagnosed with epilepsy. And she said something during our discussion that kind of stood out. She said, it almost seems like he doesn't care. And this was in reference to telling me about some of his episodes and how traumatic they were for her to witness. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. Denial, been there, probably still there, whatever. But then the more I thought about it later, I thought, I get why it looks that way, but I don't think that's it. And I think he cares a lot more than you know. Here's the thing, you can't deny something you don't remember happening in the first place. That's the whole thing right there. With tonic-clonic seizures, you don't remember them. Even if we catch some of the aftermath, that fades too. So, for instance, someone asks you, when's the last time you had a seizure? You might say, I don't know, like 2 years ago. Your buddy jumps in and he's like, dude, you just had one like 6 months ago. And you're like, right, whatever. I don't know. You tell me. My bad. Like, seriously, sometimes you just have no clue. So I wouldn't say it's denial. I would just say he just wasn't there for it, as I have not been there for mine either. And I got a good example of this. I had a serious seizure episode when I was on a trip with a very good friend of mine. This was back in January 2025. Hospital for a few days, the whole nine. Later that week, we go out to dinner. He orders a beer with dinner. I'm like, man, I'd love a beer right now. He looks at me like I suggested we go commit a crime. And he's like, are you crazy? Absolutely not. I'm sitting there thinking like, well, I feel fine, you know? And that's exactly it. People expect me to act like someone who had just almost died, but I didn't remember almost dying. But that's what he remembered. What he saw was his friend almost die, and what I got was a hospital bracelet and a gap in my memory. He's carrying that image. I am not. So think about this. Think about like a bad car accident. Like you survive a bad car crash. That memory is going to shape you. You're going to drive differently, I would argue, for at least a period of time afterwards. You're going to be like flinching at intersections. People are going to be like flying by you on the freeway. You're not going to like it, right? But a severe seizure, you don't remember. There's like no data, so there's like no fear. There's nothing to refer back to. It's like it happened to somebody else. So yeah, I would say to the people around us, we're not brushing it off. We just weren't there in the same way you were when you witnessed it. So I can understand why our behavior after such an event can cause some confusion and some misunderstanding. Also, I would say to us, we need to recognize the people in our lives witnessed something really traumatic happen to us, probably more traumatic than we realize, and we owe them some grace for that. But I want to say, trust me, we care, we love you, we just don't remember.